Hello and welcome to episode 5 of The Bottom Line, brought to you by TelecomTV and sponsored by IBM. Whether it's roads, railways, waterways, or gas and electricity and other utility grids, every country on Earth has an infrastructure and network of some kind or another. In highly developed and densely populated countries, it's becoming increasingly important to use smart technologies to enable networks to operate more efficiently and to do more things. In this programme, we look at how communications technologies and networks can be used to help bring about a smarter world to the benefit of all, as my colleague Simon Kearney reports from Singapore.
Smarter transportation is about traffic management. Smart systems can help reduce waste, increase speed and meet demand where it's needed. Over my shoulder you can see an electronic tolling gantry which raises money but also helps manage traffic demand here in Singapore's streets. Behind it is a smart parking sign which tells you where the most parking spaces are available.
ICT is useful for us to get information from the many sensors that we have on our road network, pump it back to our control center for the intelligent software to make optimization work and therefore keep traffic on our roads flowing. ERP is electronic road pricing. Essentially, it's based on economics principle that you should price for any scarce resource, and road is treated as a scarce resource here. And so we price according to the demand for the use of that road space. If it's a very high demand road, we would have to price it at a higher level as compared to another road where there's lower demand. And in doing this, we help to distribute the traffic, we help to manage demand for the use of the road space, and therefore keep traffic flowing, reduce use of fuel, reduce pollution.
Using smart meters and grids, people and enterprises can monitor their energy use and identify savings, which is good for the environment. A recent report found that communication technologies applied to saving greenhouse gas emissions could reduce emissions by 15% by 2020.
If you look at the traditional meters, the only thing that you can do with that is that you can have the measure of a specific consumer's specific apartment, let's say. With these new meters, so you have the same capabilities and the same feature of the traditional one. In addition, you can do remotely, but also as a standalone, as I was saying, and you can manage a lot of information. Also, you can manage a lot of operation that you can do on the network. For instance, you can cut off the electricity remotely. You can add voltage and power to the consumption and so on and so forth. You can also have different tariffs for each season, for specific season. So imagine that you also for week and also for a day within the same week.
For most households, the meters are either out of reach where they are too high, or they're within risers which are under lock and key. So instead, what we have developed here is a smaller portable unit which we call the consumer display unit. While the meter sits outside the house, this resides within the house. So it's designed to be small, portable. It has magnets, so you can place it on the fridge, for example. The important feature here is what we call the current usage rate, because that shows the household exactly how much how much electricity they're using at any given point in time.
There's been pilots run in pretty large scales, where 200 households, just by having the information available in a smart meter, and really nothing more than a monitor that shows you how much energy consumption you're using, was able to drive 10, 15, 20% reductions in the households, the average consumer, you and I, in their energy bill. So on an average, as a consumer, for one PC, you can save anywhere from $30 to $60, $70, depending again on your use model, by deploying the use of power management. I'll multiply that by a couple of PCs, you've got a pretty good value proposition. And topics like smart metering, smart grid can actually all work together to really create that smart house that has been talked about in the past.
Well, the system leverages on these wireless modules that we have actually custom developed. They're based on Zigbee wireless protocol. So by integrating these wireless modules with off-the-shelf sensors, such as the current sensor over here, we can actually take data and wirelessly send it back to a central monitoring station. So at the end of everything, in the final package, it would be a very user-friendly device such as this, which the consumers can actually plug into their household. And this data can actually be sent back wirelessly to a central database, where the consumers would then be able to have a profile and log of the current consumption. And not only that, the software can also be programmed so that it can intelligently turn on and off devices inside the household based on certain user profiles.
Most people don't want to have to pay attention to when they turn on and off their lights, when their air conditioning goes on and off, that sort of things. So in point of fact, with modern sensors, you can have a computer in your house that is wired up online, and a computer can communicate back to you and say, can we turn off this device, and this device during the day? It looks like you take a shower in the morning. There's no reason to keep water hot all day. Would you mind if we turn it on an hour before your shower, an hour after your shower? Is that okay? And you say yes, and suddenly your power bill drops. All of that is driven by sensors and communication technologies. And so that's where the infocom industry is going to have a big impact, is allowing more efficient use of the electricity that we're currently producing.
So, what's the bottom line to take away from this episode? Well, it's that service providers have a tremendous, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work with transportation and utility companies to develop, deploy, manage and exploit smart metering, smart grids and smart transport systems. By so doing, service providers can leverage their network capacity and assets and apply their knowledge and experience to create new platforms and new opportunities that will generate new revenue streams. Such strategies will benefit consumers and the service provider community alike, as well as the companies and the organisations that financially support, install and manage transport and utility networks across the globe.
Utilities companies all over the world have massive networks that are becoming increasingly instrumented, and that's an important part of our Smart Planet initiative. So the instrumentation allows you to have a far greater insight into what's actually happening in your network, what your customers are actually doing, how consumption patterns and behaviours are emerging, and allows you to be smarter in planning your network development, in planning your resource management, and generally in optimising the way in which your business delivers its service to its customers.
They can become smarter in 3 areas. First is by providing better information to consumers and businesses on their usage patterns, on how they consume energy. Second is around monitoring and managing the generation of electricity and reducing carbon emissions through better instrumentation and intelligence in the system. The third area they can become smarter is in the area of production and transmission. Fully 2/3 of all the loss that is experienced in utility networks is due to production and transmission. Through better instrumentation, monitoring, and management, the industry can address that loss and improve the overall efficiency of the system.
IBM is helping utilities customers all over the world to instrument their networks, to find out more about what's going on in their networks, and to optimize their businesses based on the intelligence that they can glean from a better instrumented environment.